Good morning, Secret City, what's up? I'm not supposed to do what I'm going to. Someone said that yesterday. We make places breathe again. We, all of us. If this is your first time here, or even your second or third, welcome to my city, a city where the buildings remember. Sometimes more than the people are willing to admit. See, some places don't just hold history, they hold hurt. You can feel it. Feel it in the way a boarded up window looks like it's waiting for something or someone, and the way a playground goes quiet too early, and in the way a mural fades too quickly. Somebody once told me art is decoration, and I knew immediately that they had never stood in a place that needed saving. I've seen what happens when color comes back to a wall that had given up. I've seen a child trace a painted line with their finger, almost like they're following a map right back to themselves. I've seen grown men, shoulders heavy with things we can't see, stop in front of a piece of art like it called to them by their childhood name. Don't tell me art is extra when I know, like we all know, art is entry. Space is never empty, space is filled with memory, with policy, filled with who was welcomed and who was watched. Space remembers red lines, remembers silence, remembers who got erased and who called that development. When we say spatial justice, we're talking about who gets to feel safe in their own reflection. We're talking about who gets to imagine themselves into tomorrow. See, imagination is not soft, imagination is infrastructure. It is the blueprint before the blueprint. It is the audacity to look at a broken system and say, I can see something else here. I often think about my city, how we carry ocean in our bones. How we know tides, how things leave, and how they come back different. I think about all the ways we were told what we are not this enough, not that enough, not funded enough, not seen enough. Still, we painted anyway. We wrote anyway, we danced in spaces that were never designed to hold us. We made stages out of corners, made galleries out of our grief. Because healing, real healing is not quiet, nor should it be contained. It is not always pretty, it is not always polished for donors. Sometimes healing looks like a spray can in a trembling hand. Sometimes healing sounds like a voice cracking on the first line. Sometimes healing is just showing up to a space that once rejected you and refusing to shrink inside of it. Art doesn't ask permission to matter, art insists. It insists that we are more than the worst thing that happened here. It insists that beauty belongs in places that have been denied it. It insists that our stories are not side notes, they are the structure. So when we gather like this in rooms with resources, with vision, with the power to decide who gets built, and what gets forgotten, I need us to remember we are not funding projects, we are restoring breath. We are not installing pieces, we are interrupting absence. We are not supporting artists, we are trusting the people who know how to translate pain into possibility. Because somewhere right now in a city just like mine, a kid is walking past a wall that could either tell them nothing or tell them they belong. That difference, that small sacred difference is everything. And I know rooms like this, rooms full of beautiful minds, big hearts, and careful language. People truly trying to build something more humane than the world we are inheriting right now, and that matters. But intention alone has never kept the lights on in an artist's studio. Intention alone has never protected a cultural worker from burnout. Intention alone has never stopped a neighborhood from being erased right after it becomes beautiful again. So today, I'm asking that we remember something deeper than admiration. Do not just applaud the artists who know how to survive impossible conditions. Ask why survival is still the requirement. Because every city says they love artists until artists need rent. Every city says they believe in public healing until healing requires long-term investment. Every institution says they care about community voice until that voice comes messy, grieving, loud, honest, and uncurated. The real art, the kind that changes people, has never been tidy. The mural and the movement have always belonged to each other. The poem and the protest, the song and the survival, the dance and the dignity. This has always been sacred work. And sacred work cannot survive on scraps and symbolism. Not if we mean it, not if we mean all the words we love to print in programs: equity, justice, community, healing. These words are expensive words. They cost something, so if this room believes that art can transform space, then transform the conditions for the artists. Fund the vision before it becomes fashionable. Support the people before burnout buries them. Commission the mural, pay the poet, hire the organizer, protect the dreamers before developers learn how to market their language back to them. Because I'll tell you this, some of the most powerful artists I know are one emergency away from disappearing from the work entirely. And imagine what the world loses every time that happens. Imagine the mural that never gets painted, the child who never feels seen, the gathering that never happens, the neighborhood that forgets its own magic. I come from New Bedford. My city has taught me that beauty can survive hard things, a city of salt air and survival, of working hands and sub and hope. What I know is this: people do not become whole because someone saved them. People become whole because someone believed they were worth investing in. This is what art has done for me. Someone handed me a microphone before I knew what my voice could carry. Someone made space for me before I knew I deserved it. Someone listened long enough for me to become myself out loud. So, if this room feels moved, good. But movement is not the finish line. It is the beginning of responsibility. Support the living artist, not just the legacy after they die. Support the community before the displacement, not just the documentary afterwards. Support the messy, beautiful, unfinished work of keeping people human in a world constantly asking them not to be, because art is not a luxury item. Art is evidence. Evidence that we have not given up on each other, and if we do this right, if we truly do this right, then years from now, someone will walk through one of our neighborhoods and still be able to hear music spilling from an open door. See color climbing up brick walls, see children making something from nothing, and they will say, someone loved this place enough to imagine more for it.
Yeah.
That someone is in each and every one of us. And if this is your first time here, welcome to my city. A city still daring to reimagine itself. A city where art is not an accessory to the future, it is how the future arrives. Brick by brick, wall by wall, story by story, artist by artist, until imagination becomes infrastructure again, until belonging becomes policy again, until every child, every person can see themselves in the future we're building right now. Thank you.